These shocking images were seen in Kisumu city, located in different places of the city, and providing this message that there is peace in Kisumu and that Kikuyus will not push us out of the government. What is going on in Kisumu? What is going on with the Luos? Why is it that when the rest of the country is protesting, Luos seem to be okay? They're saying that they are in government and they will not be pushed out by Kikuyus. Is it the first time that Luos have been in government? Because from what I know is that Luos were in government when Kibaki, Raila lost election in 2007, and he took half the government. In 2018, they shook hands with Uhuru Kenyatta. And now Luos are coming out saying that they are now in government like they have never been in government before. And then they are not going to be dragged to Kikuyu affairs. You see, this is something that I believe is planted by the government to make sure there is tribal division. Someone told me that the government will never allow a situation where the Luos and the Kikuyus work together, because from then on, tribalism will end. And you know, there's been conflict between the Kikuyus and the Luos since the independence. And this has been propagated by politicians, and they never wanted to end. Because if it ends, then they don't know how to master their numbers and their strongholds and to create conflict that will bedevil this country for a long time. I want us to analyze these images and the reason they are behind these things. And you know, on that Sabasaba day, there was an onslaught on Kikuyu community, especially on online platforms, where people were attacking the Kikuyu community, saying that they are the ones orchestrating all these mandamanos. But then the young people, the Gen Zs on Twitter, created a hashtag, "We are all Kikuyus," to fight that tribal card. And now that it died down, I want us to decipher 5 things that might be making the government bring tribal tensions within the country, and to make sure that the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins and the Luos are not speaking in one voice. Number one reason is distraction from public policies. You see, when the government is not performing well, and when we talk about the finance bill, we talk about extrajudicial killings, we talk about all these things that affect our economy, you see the government will not like us being so attentive on those things. Now they can bring tribal division so that when we meet online, we discuss Kikuyus versus Luos, or we discuss Kikuyu entitlement. And we will forget what exactly brought the Gen Zs together since the beginning. Number 2, these tribal divisions could be used to weaken the united opposition. You see, when people are united, they are more powerful. And when people are divided, they are weaker. You see, this opposition side, when they come together, you know, when they start calling themselves cousins, then you have to find a way of making sure that you see that Rigathi Gachagua and the Kikuyu community feel like they are entitled. And you will say that somebody like Matiang'i and the Kisii community feel this way or that way. Or you see the Kamba community are this way or that way. So that you can bring division within the opposition side. You see, when these people come together, for example, Kalonzo Musyoka, Rigathi Gachagua, Eugene Wamalwa, they come from different tribes. You see, the tribes that they come from all expect that their candidate within the opposition will be selected for presidency come 2027. But it will not happen. One of them will be chosen and others might be disappointed. But you know what is necessary to make sure that people will not be disappointed despite whoever will be chosen is to create something called cohesion. Or for example, you can talk about something like kuzoeana and to bring each other together, to create some bonding between the leaders and the communities that they come from, so that any leader that comes out of that movement looks like he is a picture of the whole movement, because now then we can see the real picture of the opposition. Now that one, when you bring tribalism inside of it and you create a scenario where there are people, you start saying that there are communities who feel like they deserve it more than the others, then you bring division, but we just hope that it will not happen and that everything will go right. The number 3 reason why the government is bringing this tribal division is to bring royalty. It is to gather loyal voters. You see, when government creates a scenario where when they decide to create fear that only certain communities or certain community believes are the only ones that deserve to lead the country. You see, people fear that scenario and they might believe that narrative, saying that if the Kikuyus believe that they are only ones who can lead the country, then we are going to vote for Ruto to punish them. But in this sense, it is not like, it's not so. Nobody cares who is the president as long as you're performing. But if they are able to push that narrative, then they are going to gain followers even without performing. They don't need to perform in economically or those things. People will not see the economic side of things. They will see the tribal side of things. Because in Kenya, tribalism is so deep and so emotional. People will forget about everything and follow William Ruto just because they want to punish those communities that they have been told always believe they are the ones that should be in power. The 4th reason is to justify repressive measures. You see, the government must create a scenario where they can be able to punish certain groups of people just because they have justified their reason. For example, they might say that there is a Kikuyu uprising, and then they can deploy military or police officers to the Mount Kenya region without the complaining of the other parts of the country, because the government has already justified that fight and they have shown that they are the ones causing trouble within the country. So it will be easy for the government to be justified to attack that one community and neutralize the whole Gen Z movement and also avoid any repercussions from the rest of the country. The 5th reason is undermining the credibility of the protests. You see, when the protests are happening, the government is given a big blow, because whenever there are protests, it is a bad picture for the government, because public perception is very important. You see, when people see people complaining about the government, even those that don't know what is happening might just decide that the government is automatically a bad government and they might not vote for it come 2027. You see, public perception is very important. So the government has to find a way of spinning the narrative and say that the people who are protesting are actually from one community and it is a Kikuyu uprising, making it look like an ethnically motivated protest instead of a Gen Z protest, making it look evil or meant to cause a coup or something like that, which is understandable because the government does not know what to do when the Gen Zs are not tribalists, they are leaderless. They don't know who to talk to. So the only way they can do is to divide the Gen Zs. Make sure that they are not listening to each other. They divide themselves. They divide them into tribal lines and make sure they create something to do that it is ethnically motivated. I think those are the reasons why these banners were there in Kisumu, to make sure that in Kisumu there is peace and in Mount Kenya there is havoc. Thank you guys for watching, and if you have enjoyed this video and you would like to hear more of my videos, please do leave me a like and subscribe to this channel, and God bless you.